Hello and welcome to Civil Field Trainers. My name is Shadab. This is basic introduction class for STAAD Pro VA. If you're interested in learning STAAD Pro in complete depth, then I have a course for it, STAAD Pro RCDC. There are basically 44 videos in Hindi and English separately. The current price is 1009 rupees. If I apply the coupon code for it, it will drop to 599. Okay, the complete content, everything. I'll drop a link in the description. You can go and check it out later. Let's come back to the topic at hand and let's start with the introduction of STAAD Pro. Hello and welcome to the first class of STAAD Pro. So as soon as you open up STAAD Pro V8i, this is what you will come across. It's a pretty old software, 2005, 2006 software this is. And you can see here that we have got separate boxes. And in the license configuration, you can see that Indian codes, Asian codes, all these codes are available to you. Okay. To start a new project, all you have to do is click on new project and you can start working. And you can see all the recent files are here. So to start any project, all you have to do is click on new project. But before you do that, there is something called as configuration that you need to look into. Okay, you just click on configuration, and when you do, this dialog box will appear to you. In this, you can see the metric unit is there, the basic unit. You can adjust this unit. Okay, we go for metric. All right, and if you go for other options here, input, output format, error format, all these other things. See, all this information is available to you. Okay, if you want to change the background color to black, you can do that. It's completely your options, your choice basically. Okay, and then you come to STAAD Pro, STAAD default design courses codes, and you can see that for steel they have taken American code. For everything they have taken American code. Okay, that's not what we want to do. We want to set this code to our design code, that is basically our IS 456, because we are using Indian codes here, so you can make it IS 456. If you're working with steel design codes, you can just come here and go for IS 800. You can see there are many version of it, IS 800 2007. You can go and change this. Okay, again, for shear wall code, you can go for IS 456 here. That's everything you can leave, because with timber design we won't do it anyway. So all this is there. Aluminum only USs are available. So you can change its conditions here, and you can just click on apply and accept it. Okay. So first thing first, you have to come to configuration. Make sure that your units is in metric. Okay, and then please go ahead and check every single thing. And then you come to design code format here. Just click on the select design code, and you can just make these changes, and then click on apply and accept. All right, so like if you do this once, it is more than sufficient. You don't have to do it every time before starting a project. Okay, so now my STAAD Pro is configured for this system, that this is the condition that it's going to take. All right, once that is done, you have to click on new project. Then click on new project, and when you click on new project, we have got four things here. We have got space, we have got plane, floor, and truss. Okay, when you click on truss, the name itself will tell you that it is basically for what, for steel structures. Okay, so if you're working with steel structure, you can go and click on truss and you can do it. If you click on floor, what happens? See, a floor is basically a 2D element, right? It'll be within just two coordinates, x and y, or y and z, or x and z coordinates. It will be there. All right, so if you come and read this here, it will tell you the same thing. So if you're working on a floor, you can just click on floor. All right, then you can click on plane. Okay, again, plane is also for just two coordinate system. X and y coordinate system will be there. It will be a plane, like if you do a 2D portal frame or something. Okay, because y is what, y is our vertical direction, so x and y. So if you're doing a 2D portal frame, if you're doing a beam, okay, a plane is more than sufficient. But if you go for space, in space what happens, all three dimension formats will be available to you. Okay, so basically in 4 what happens, basically in 4 you have got x and z, global x and z. Okay, this is basically for your slabs. All right, if you come for plane, this is basically for your portal frames and beams. All right, but if you come for space, space will comprise of all these things. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it. Space will combine all these things, so always go for space. All right, unless until specified by your designer or something, and generally space will work one, because space will have all these three elements, so definitely just go for space. All right, so once that is done, next we have got again the units here. So if you are working for some international project, they have this separate what do you call, metric system, I mean the unit system, so you can change accordingly whatever is required. Okay, but in India definitely we go for meter and kilonewton only, always. Okay, so you can just name it as I'll just name it as trial one. Okay, trial one, and there is somewhere here in plugins where somebody is saving. If you want to create a separate folder, you can create a separate folder and save all your files there as well. You can just click here. As soon as you click there, it'll open up a pop-up box like this, and you can just go wherever you want and create a new folder and save this there. Okay, so I hope this is understand, like you understood so much so far. All right, so all we did was we went for configuration. We fixed the power configuration here. Basically two things: basic unit we checked, and we got sorry, basic unit we checked, and we went for design codes, and in design codes we fix up these things. Then we click on new project. We went for space. You can just give it any name you want. Okay, let me just change it to something different, trial one or something. Okay, and then mid-run Kilnewton, we leave it as it is, we don't touch it. And it is very important, please make sure if it is not in this, okay, you have to make sure it is in mid-run Kilnewton only, because our loads will be applied in Kilnewton and our all our beams and floors, everything will be in meters. Okay, so this is done. Again, when you come here, we have got a couple of things. If you want to add plate, see plate will look something like this. They are actually showing it to you. Add solids. Okay, if you want to design something, for example, water tank or something, you can go ahead with solids also. It's a possibility. Okay, open structure wizard. This is basically the STAAD Pro software is very versatile. Okay, so they have some inbuilt trusses and different structures in it. So open up structure wizard, you can directly import those structures into your STAAD Pro file. Okay, I'll talk about this later. Don't worry about it now. And this is STAAD Pro editor. It is basically like a coding thing. It's a very basic code here. Whatever we have inputted, all our beams, all our members, all our loads, everything will open up here like this. We will talk about this also. So if you want to open up a STAAD editor, it'll open up a STAAD editor for you here. Then we have got basically job information and everything. Okay, and in this case also, what I want to do is go for add beam. Okay, your beam column, everything will be considered as add beam here only. That's one very distinct difference between this and E-tabs. If you click on add beam, your column beam, everything will be considered as a beam portion only. Okay, but don't worry about it. It is just a name. Okay, work-wise, everything column will behave as a column, beam will behave as a beam only. So don't worry about that. Okay, so I hope you have understood here. So if you want to add plate, basically if you have some shell element, you can go for add plate. If you have any solid element, you can go for solid, hollow solid basically. Okay, open structure wizard, we'll be talking about this. It will make your work very easy. You can literally do your work 10 times faster with this option. Open slider, we'll also look into this when we're applying flow loads and everything. This will make our work much easier. All we have to do is copy paste stuff and it will take it. Okay, so again you go for add beam again the way in the previous step what we did, we took spaces. In the next step we'll take add beams, first option always. If you can't remember this, just remember that you have to click on the first option. Once that is done, click on finish. Okay, when you click on finish, you'll be, yeah, you'll be given this interface. Okay, we have got something here. Okay, snap nodes for beam option here, and we have got all these tools. Literally these many tools are more than sufficient for you to design any structure that you want. Okay, be it RCC, be it steel, all these tools can be used, all these tabs can be used to design any structure that you want. Okay, so when you start your project, this is what comes to you, and the very first thing the students do is they try to explore it. They try to explore the software once they have opened it. So by mistake they close this. Okay, how do you get it back? You click on geometry, it will come back. Okay, that's a basic thing. Even if you close this also, you can just click on geometry, all of them will come back to you. All right, so that's the very first thing. Okay, so in this, basically, if I have to talk about, as this is a very introduction class, I'll just show you one beam, how we approach a problem and how we do it. Nothing, we will not apply loads or anything on it. I just want to show you how you can approach this as soon as you open this software. So you have opened, everything is fine. And one more thing about this grid system is basically, if you want to use the grid system, you can definitely use it, or you can just apply nodes from here. Okay, it's up to you. It's completely up to you. And you can see everything here is at 1 meter distance. Okay, how do I know it is at 1 meter distance? Because if I click on edit, you can see a spacing is in 1 meter. Okay, so the all the grid spacing will be always at equal distance from each other. Okay, so this one like one of the backdrops. You cannot have a custom grid having 3, 4, 6 meter spacing between each grid. All the grids will have the same spacing here. Okay, so let me just okay this and close it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click here and one node will be formed here. Okay, it's a grid. When I'm clicking it, one node is considered, one made is here. So if I want to draw a beam for 1 meter, I can just drop it over here. It will draw a beam for 1 meter. If I want to draw a beam at 3 meters distance, or 3 meters length, one, two, three. Okay, you click here, it will take it. Okay, simultaneously you can see in the backdrop what is happening. This table is getting populated. Okay, all this information is being inputted automatically. So again, you can click here, it will take it. Okay, if you don't want, if it's enough, just hit escape, it will go away. Understood? All you have to do is what? Just go on for the node option. Okay, if you hit escape, this is what you will get now. Okay, geometry, if you click, it will come back. Once it is done, it is gone. Once you have started drawing everything, again, if you click on geometry, you won't get the grid option back. Okay, grid is only for the initial part. Now, if you want to manipulate anything here, you can come in directly and put the value here. Just put it 10. You will get one more there. But you can see the coordinate system is what? At y it was 1 meters. Okay, if you just see the coordinate system here, this is y, this is x, and this is z. Okay, So in this direction we're going in the X direction, okay, and in this direction we're going in Y direction. One more thing, let's make it from here, okay. These are the different viewports that we have. The yellow color that you see is the view you're seeing it. Okay, if you want to see the back end, it looks something like this. From the side, it looks something like this. From the other side, it looks something like this. Okay, in 3D, it looks something like this. Okay, so this is what my X direction basically. This is my this direction is Z and the direction is Y. So let me just click like this. Okay, what if I make it one here now? All right, so it has come in the line. Okay, so it is that simple. All you have to do is this. So once this is drawn, if you want to draw a beam, click on add beams from here. Click here, drag and drop it over here. Okay, and one thing to note is that if you want to add any node from here on forth, you cannot just randomly there is one option to here, um, insert node option is there. See, you cannot insert node randomly anywhere. Okay, it is very methodical in this sense because everything has to be like a tabular form only. Okay, so if I want to add node now, for example, I want to add node somewhere in the bottom or on top somewhere. Okay, if I just view it in 3D, it looks something like this. So I want to add a node. How do I add a node now at a random position? So I should know its coordinates. Okay. So maybe I'm going to give something like 12. Okay. And I'm going to give something like, let's give it 4. Okay. So you can see it's going up. Okay. This is my base because y is what? Y is in what direction? In the upward direction. So it is going up. Okay. And if I want to have z, that is in this direction z is. So let me say I'm giving 4 again there, not 40. 4 is enough. So you can see it is moving somewhere there. So if I were to use this beam and I can show you, it looks something like this now. Okay. So this is how you can add a beam, add a node, and you can just join a node by adding a beam to, beam element to it. Okay. So this is basically how you start working on your project. Okay. If you want to see a 3D rendered view of this, all you have to do is click on 3D render view and it will generate a 3D render view for you. See, and you can see clearly this is Y, this is X, and this is Z. Okay. Let me just change the Y coordinate of something. Let me just make it 4. Okay, something like this. Let's go for 3D render view, and you can see here, see, in the y direction it is moving like this. Okay, so this is basically how you have to start working. Once you have your project, once you know what are the distance between each and every beam, and we'll take up a project and work on it. Initially, I just want you to gain some exposure to all these tools. It is not as simple or it is not as user friendly as ETABS. Okay, so it will take some time to get used to all these tools. So we'll be working with some beams, we'll be working with some portal frames and everything. Once you're completely confident that you know all the tools and everything, we will go ahead with some projects and I'll be showing you how you can import the projects and work with them, or how you can start inputting all these values and start working from scratch in STAAD Pro. Okay, so that is basically what we're going to do. We'll take some beams first, work on beams, then we'll take some portal frames, work on portal frames, then we go for the proper structures. Okay, so I hope you understood. If you want to add a node, how you're supposed to go ahead and add a node and everything. Uh, After this, the next step would be to go to geometry. Okay, to go to geometry and you can start adding your beams and you can start adding all the other things. Or let's not go to geometry because we are already in geometry here, so you can just add your beams and everything directly here. Just go for general then. Okay, in general, basically what happens, this is the most important tab in STAAD Pro because all your information that you want to input is available here. Okay, if you click on geometry, this will not be visible. This is again happens with too many students. They're like, sir, I cannot see properties, sir, I cannot see where are the other things, So for that, what you have to do is you have to click on general first. If you click on general, your supports, properties, loads, definition, everything will come to you. Okay, so you click on general, and when you click on general, you can see the property tab is there here. You can click on property tab, it will come something like this. If you want to assign some property to this, you can definitely assign properties and everything. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll stop at this juncture. It's a very brief introduction class. I just wanted to show you how it works and some tools here and there. Okay, first you have to configure system. I mean your STAAD Pro software. Once you have configured it, open it up. I'll be taking up some beams in the next class, wherein which we'll be working with all these tabs: how to assign properties, how to assign supports, how to assign loads, dead load, live load. Okay, how to assign all that, and then we will be seeing how to run analysis on that and how to check the values that we have got if they're correct or not. Okay, so let's take it slow, one step at a time. So see you guys in the next class. Next class will start properly everything from base again. Okay, this was just the basic introduction class. Okay, so see you guys in the next class. Thank you.